The next presenter is Kwassui High School from Nagasaki.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to this conference. I'm Aina Manino from Nagasaki Kwassui High School. Our topic is the evolution of nuclear weapons in Northeast Asia. Today, more and more countries are trying to produce nuclear weapons, and as a result, the danger of warfare is increasing. We would like to present the situation through what is happening now in Northeast Asia, so we can think about what we must do. Do you know what happened on August 9, 1945, when the atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki City? Let me tell you about the threat of nuclear weapons first. These are pictures of Nagasaki City. After the atomic bomb was dropped, there is nothing left but the river. Nagasaki looked like hell. Before the bombing, there were many people living happily in this city. In a moment, their lives were altered. Within 1 kilometer radius from the hypecenter, everything was obliterated, and people who narrowly escaped later died from their injuries. The atomic bomb produced a massive blast, heat rays, and radiation. I focused on radiation. It affected survivors' health, and even those who were slightly injured or escaped injury died from it. Many survivors die every year or continue to suffer from the after effects of radiation exposure. Even those who do not suffer from any diseases are living in fear. They are also concerned about the impact of radiation on second and third generation family members. What about hydrogen bomb? The United States conducted a total of 67 thermonuclear tests from 1946 to 1958 at Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands. The test in March 1954, named Bravo, is the most well known. Bravo was 1,000 times more powerful than the Hiroshima atomic bomb. Its nuclear fallout was observed all over the world, and even now, a lot of Marshall Islands people can't return to their homes because of the radioactivity. Moreover, many Japanese ships were affected by this test. According to Dr. Tomonaga, president of the Japanese Red Cross, Nagasaki Atomic Bomb Hospital, if a hydrogen bomb were dropped from 2,400 meters above a city with a population of 1 million, the effect extends to a radius of about 18 kilometers. An atomic bomb would have a radius of about 4.5 kilometers. The radiation given off an atomic bomb and a hydrogen bomb is almost the same, but the heat ray and blast of a hydrogen bomb is around 5 times greater. Now, let's take a look at immediate and later casualties of nuclear detonations in the city with a population of 1 million. The number of victims of the hydrogen bomb is higher than that of the atomic bomb. However, the number of people affected by the radiation of the atomic bomb is about 5 times higher because most of them will die immediately. Many scientists have been developing more efficient nuclear weapons, so it is certain that if they are used again, the destruction will be unimaginably enormous. Nuclear weapons should never be used again. However, there are some countries that continue to produce nuclear weapons and enhance their nuclear arsenal. The situation is unstable, especially in Northeast Asia. South Korea and Japan are threatened by North Korea's nuclear weapons and missiles programs. In response to this, South Korea and Japan may consider to have their own nuclear weapons programs instead of relying on the United States nuclear umbrella. We can find a similarity between economic association and military alliance. The economic partnerships like ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, NTPP. As you can see, the United States, South Korea, and Japan have a collaborative economic and security relationship. On the other hand, even if the alliance of China and Russia lives in 1980, China still imports a large number of weapons from Russia. China is also considered to be North Korea's main ally. These three countries and the United States are also nuclear states. What can the neighboring non-nuclear countries do to avoid a nuclear threat? We think there are two ways. The first way is that non-nuclear countries ally themselves with a nuclear country in order to be protected. It is called being under the nuclear umbrella. However, can the umbrella really protect the non-nuclear countries? Earlier, we mentioned the similarity between economic association and military alliance. At present, North Korea seems to be an isolated state in Northeast Asia. The economically depressed country tends to solve its own problems by using military force to secure its resources and territory. Historically, a nation's desire for economic stability often results in war. North Korea falls into this case. It is said that the nuclear development of North Korea is aimed at getting economic aid. Then, how is the present condition of each country? North Korea withdrew from NPT in 2003. Since April 2012, North Korea has been conducting frequent missiles tests for self-defense. North Korea has also launched missiles into the Sea of Japan. It insisted that this was not an attack, but a response to the provocatory Fall Eagle military exercise. In addition, they have conducted 3 nuclear weapons tests in the past. How should other countries deal with this situation? Should the surrounding nations aim at regional stability together by dialogue and negotiation, or by military power? South Korea announced its national defense plan. They will expand military improvement at the cost of about 59 trillion won in the future. And they have started a missile defense development system of their own. They are also planning to have Aegis system in 2 years. This February, South Korea had joined military exercise with the United States. In response to this, North Korea launched missiles again, which caused more tension in Northeast Asia. South Korea also accused the Japanese government of practices, such as the armaments expansion of the self-defense forces. South Korea also criticized Japan for holding its own nuclear power activities through nuclear power plants. In addition, there is a border conflict between South Korea and Japan. China's military arsenal is also moving ahead. The United States fears that Chinese missiles and warplanes are going to be increased. China does not have transparency, so it's difficult to say how many nuclear weapons China exactly has. But based on the reliable source, it is estimated to have about 250. The United States also fears that China is going to add new military weapons like submarines equipped with strategic weapons. China might deploy the latest nuclear missiles. It can prevail over the wall of MD. China had several territorial conflicts. Especially troublesome is the offshore territory. China constructed an aircraft carrier and recently has focused on claiming its rights to offshore territory. In Japan, the national defense budget has been slowly reduced in the last 10 years. However, the Japanese cabinet aims to expand military strength, so it has been substantially increased since last year. The Japanese government took aggressive action, like the armaments expansion of the self-defense forces. Recently, Prime Minister Abe visited Yasukuni Shrine, where both World War II dead and war criminals are enshrined, provoking other Asian countries. His visit to Yasukuni deteriorated diplomatic relationship between Japan and its neighboring countries that were tormented by Japan in the past. North Korea and South Korea protested that Japan is only allowed a stockpile of plutonium. They suspect it will be used for military purposes. Each country accepts nuclear weapons, and what is worse, they can talk each other to stabilize the situation in Northeast Asia. Nuclear umbrella and military alliance of the United States, South Korea, and Japan only stimulate North Korea. The restraint created by another power leads to the need for greater power, and so the threat becomes greater. It worsens the situation even more.
Recently, the world has been moving toward disarmament. I'll show you some of the efforts to abolish nuclear weapons. The NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty, was created in order to abolish nuclear weapons. The NPT has three pillars: the ratification of nuclear disarmament, decrease of nuclear weapons possession, and the peaceful use of nuclear power. This treaty asks nuclear weapon states to reduce their nuclear arsenal and non-nuclear weapon states not to develop nuclear weapons. This treaty identified 5 countries as nuclear weapon states, and moreover, 4 countries were categorized as states in possession of nuclear weapons. As you can see, there is no nuclear weapons country in the southern hemisphere. In addition, there are nuclear weapons-free zones. A nuclear weapon-free zone is an area where nuclear weapons and nuclear power plants are banned. As you can see, there are more non-nuclear weapon states in the southern hemisphere. There are some treaties like the Treaty of Tlatelolco and the Treaty of Rarotonga that create nuclear-free zones. Many governments have begun to move for nuclear disarmament. For this purpose, the second conference on the humanitarian impact of nuclear weapons was held in Nayarit, Mexico, on 13 and 14 February this year. Delegations representing 146 countries, the United Nations, the International Committee of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Movement, and civil society organizations participated in the conference. The conference started with testimonies about the atomic bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima from Hibakusha and third-generation family members. They told the participants what happened in their cities. One of our schoolmates, who is a third-generation Hibakusha, talked about her grandparents and the 10,000 high school students' signatures campaign. The participants were impressed and moved by her speech. The experts discussed how to abolish the nuclear weapons from various viewpoints, for example, public health, global economy, environment, food scarcity, and the like. Now, we will talk about what the younger generations do for peace. We have a Peace Studies Club in our school. There are 3 groups in the club: the Furisode Project, the 10,000 high school students signatures campaign, and the Youth Volunteers for Peace. We hold weekly meetings where we share our experiences and findings. We are both members of the Furisode Project and the 10,000 high school students signatures campaign, so I will explain these 2 activities. First, the Furisode project. It is Kwassui's original movement whose purpose is to tell people all over the world about the inhumanity of nuclear weapons through the two girls' tragedy and their wish for it not to be repeated. To share the two girls' stories, we translated into English a picture book called Furisode no Shoujo, or The Two Girls in Kimono, made by Mr. Matsuzoe. We introduce it when we communicate with people from other countries. As a next step, we will plan to translate it into other languages. We also take advantage of Facebook to tell more people about our Furisode project as well as the two girls' stories. We also took part in the Asian Youth Exchange project, where we are able to communicate with many people from other countries. We discussed our definition of peace. We are able to share our thoughts and deepen our vision of peace. In the future, we'd like to participate in more international exchange activities. In this way, we have many opportunities to meet people from other countries and tell them about the two girls in kimono. We'd like more people to know about them so that in turn, they can relate to others what they have learned from the story. Next, I'd like to show you the 10,000 high school student signatures campaign, which aims to make a peaceful world without nuclear weapons. As Chiho Kozakura mentioned yesterday, so I think all of you know about this activity, but let me explain this activity. In 1998, the first Nagasaki peace messengers were sent to the United Nations to tell the world, through the voice of Nagasaki, about the inhumanity of the atomic bombs. The 16th peace messengers handed over about 195,000 signatures to the United Nations European headquarters, and they delivered speeches for about 25 minutes, urging the world to realize the abolition of nuclear weapons. Members who couldn't be peace messengers started to collect signatures. We have collected signatures every Sunday for 14 years, and the number of signatures has reached over 1 million. These signatures are being kept at the United Nations in perpetuity as the only official United Nations recognized petitions. We work under the slogan, "Our efforts are humble but not powerless." So we would like to continue this activity for as long as possible. What we can do to realize a peaceful world without any nuclear weapons and disputes between nations? We have 6 suggestions. The first is to tell as much as possible about this issue. For example, even survivors' stories, related history, and the global situation, and to share what you have learned. The second is to be interested in the current situation, such as global problems. The third is to know about our other cultures. We think that this is the first step to becoming friends. Friends do not fight each other. The fourth is to think about what we can do. Everyone has their own role, and we have to think about it. The fifth is taking actions. Small actions become strong when they are united. Lastly, it is the most important to continue what we have started. Sometimes it may be difficult, but that doesn't mean it can be done. We have to believe that we can achieve our goals. We would like to continue making our efforts. We believe that everyone has the power to achieve what he or she decides to do. Thank you.